Today we're doing a VOD review for a fan who's been struggling to get out of Plat 1 for a good while now. Before I tell you what can be improved in each clip, I'm going to play it with none of my own input, and I want you to try to see what can be critiqued.
No more Viper. Lock and safe.
Shadows traveling.
B main.
Starting on pistol round, you chase the jet with a spike on your back. You had too much tunnel vision on an enemy that didn't pose much of an immediate threat to your team. It could have been costly had you died. It's a very easy mistake to make that has a big difference in the outcome of the round. Moving on to when you plant the spike, you should be on high alert, looking around. There's no reason to be staring at a wall when you plant. Looking around can help your team not get trigger disciplined and help you not get shot in the back like you did from D main. The direction you're looking when the spike is planted does actually affect where the spike is placed, as it's a tad bit more in that direction. If you are going for this, be on lookout and then right at the end turn to your desired direction. This limits the amount of time you are completely vulnerable for.
Go, Race, go.
119 jet, Evan.
Heaven.
She might be old.
One enemy remaining.
Good shit.
Shadows traveling.
On round 4, after your smoke fades from vents, your crosshair is in a weird spot. It's not at head level and you just don't seem very engaged. I can tell this is because you can't decide what to do right now. You're watching vents, but you're indecisive on what to do next and are trying to decide. In a game like Valorant, it's very important to be decisive. It's better to be decisive and wrong than indecisive. Being indecisive in terms of positioning and where you're aiming can put you in some really tough situations. What you should have done is the moment your jet says there's one heaven, you walk to mail eyes glued on vents, and then you catch them off guard and be heaven. You get those 2 picks earlier and you have a happy and healthy team. The enemy have no reason to watch mail for an extended period of time and are more worried about advancing onto the B site. Those first shots on the Sage seemed like you shot before you aimed. Your crosshair was pretty low and the moment the Sage was on your screen you pressed mouse 1. You didn't adjust your crosshair at all, even though she's not looking at you and you have time. Most people do this when they're not confident in their abilities in gunfights. They try to get any advantage they can, one of those being getting the first shot. This can cause further issues, as if your first shots don't kill, you're stuck with recoil going all over the place by the time you put your crosshair on the enemy's head.
1 CT.
Viper CT.
One enemy remaining.
Whoop. Okay.
Cover going out.
Oh, she's...
Rafters is a very common spot to pre-aim when coming from CT. Once you make noise up there, it's most certainly the first place the enemy is going to peek. Since you know this information, if you decide not to move, never pull out any utility. That's an easy way to get caught off guard, as you did.
One heaven, care. Cover me. Heaven.
Planted. Cover going out. Cover going out. Here.
One dirt.
If the enemy team didn't save, they would have pre-fired you. You went to the same spot as the previous round, this time with the TP. You can hear one enemy going towards CT alley, and she can 100% hear you. You basically announced, please pre-fire me, when you TP'd up there for the second round in a row. But you made a very small yet very helpful adjustment. You went a little bit to your left so that if they did choose to peek and pre-aim you, you would have had the advantage. Little decisions like this can change the outcome of a round.
Just walk it.
Yeah, it might be.
Hell no, I'm going in that bitch.
Alright, TPing then.
Close pillar.
What? The brims in our game? What the fuck was that?
Okay, hold down.
Stealing sight.
Viper CT.
Oh my god, in the corner, in the corner! Hall, in the hall! She has a shotgun.
It's fine. Ping bomb when she
She
taps.
quick skill me. L1. With an op. Pink smoke.
Close left, close left, close left. That fucking Viper.
Last player standing.
78 Viper. She's
This is a lot of useless spamming. I know you're trying to get a lucky kill on the Viper to take down her ult and open up the site,
Okay, hold down.
but when you're backed into a corner where they can walk out of the ult anytime and get a quick pick on you, it's a bad idea. Your shots are inviting them to do just that. If you still decide to spam, do a bit of recoil control as they stay the same height, but feel free to move your mouse left and right because they can move.
Oh my god, in the corner.
Spamming a lot wastes ammo and could have changed the outcome of the round.
She has a shotgun.
The same happened in a previous VOD review, but they actually ran out of ammo, causing them to use their classic. The Viper knows that you can just walk into the ult and kill her when she's on the spike, so she's very likely to tap it. Stand your ground and communicate with your team. Maybe both go into the ult at the same time, or decide to risk it and pray that she isn't sticking it.
78 Viper. She's
Push on the site, push on the site.
One enemy remaining.
screens.
Last one was
Yo,
screen.
he's in their
Last
spawn.
one
He's in their
screen.
spawn.
On both the Sage and the Viper, you shot before you aimed.
One enemy remaining.
This is the same thing that you did on round 4. This might not be too big of an issue at this rank, but the higher you go, the more problems it will cause you. Not only will you need to be able to shoot first, you will need to be able to shoot at the head first. You need to create good habits in order to rank up and in order to hold your own against better players. Shooting the second an enemy appears on your screen and hoping you hit them isn't a reliable strategy.
Shadows traveling.
Yep, she's-
Alright, got a pick.
Shadows traveling.
In general, this is a bad spot to ult to. You can be peeked from 2 angles at once, but you can't watch both of those at once. You got lucky because the Reyna wasn't paying attention or couldn't
Alright,
hear
got a
you.
pick.
If she heard you and peeked you, you likely wouldn't have been able to cancel your TP because the vision you gain while the action is going on wouldn't have reached her yet.
Cover going out.
Hard A.
On round 14, if your goal is to get a kill with the Shorty, there's no need to
Hard
overextend.
A.
You place that smoke there for a reason. You want them to come into your space and you get a free pick and a free gun. The moment you walk out of the smoke, you're at the disadvantage. 99% of fights are now going to be out of your range. Smokes are prime Shorty territory because the enemy comes into a very confined space and has a split second of no vision, allowing you to get a good shot off. Don't get antsy or impatient because you have to wait for them to come to you. Going towards them usually won't end well for you. You should have a mental timer of your smokes in your head so you can back out and retreat, or back out and place another smoke and sit in it again.
Sage mid.
That angle you're holding on the smoke is pretty bad. No one is going to walk out of the smoke on the side that's
Sage
towards
mid.
B heaven. What you should expect someone to do is either walk out where the Sage did that time, or walk out along the wall
Sage
far
mid.
away from B heaven near the metal box in mid. They would clear vents and then you. You should have had your crosshair a little to the left,
Sage
about a
mid.
body's width away from the smoke. You should do this because you have a bit of leeway in terms of reaction time because the enemy will have a split second of
mid.
being blind because of the effect
where's
when
my
you
team
exit
at?
a smoke.
Hawk out.
My bad. I was in screens at the wall.
Spike down A.
1 minute.
She has knives, last kid. Fucking jet.
Last 3 save.
Oh, that's right there, right there.
Last player standing.
One
One
elbow.
enemy remaining.
Oh, whew.
Elbow,
Left side,
elbow,
left side,
elbow.
left side. Nice.
After getting
where's my
that
team
3k,
at?
you had 5 bullets left.
My
You
bad.
should have definitely stopped and reloaded, no matter how much of a momentum advantage or situational advantage you had. You are in such a vulnerable spot when peeking rafters and having no way of retreating
Oh,
quickly
that's right
when you
there.
run out of bullets. which would be soon, should have been the reason you died. I'm honestly surprised you lived long enough to reload and spam the screen again, which is the reason you died. There's no point in spamming that when you're in the open unless you want them to peek and kill you.
Last 3 seconds.
You're lucky the enemy team was in such a scrambled state, or else you would have been dead the moment you ran out of ammo the first time.
Oh, wow. It's gonna jump and everything. 72. Nice try.
This type of peek where you're the one closer to the corner being peeked around is bad. You're at a disadvantage because the enemy will see you first. I covered this in a video I made a year ago, so you can check out that one if you want to. The card will be in the top right corner right now. A few general notes I made were that you shoot before you aim a lot of the time. You also shoot before you stop moving a bit. Don't crouch in every engagement. It's definitely something that's losing you 1 to 5 fights a game. If you take all of these points in this video into consideration and work on them, I can see you hovering around high plat, low diamond in around a month. That's the end of the video. If you enjoyed, consider subscribing. If you learned something, there's a thumbs up button waiting with your name on it. If you didn't learn anything or didn't like the video, click the thumbs down button. If you'd like me to watch one of your VODs, check out the pinned comment where there will be a link where you can submit one. Watch some of my other VODs by checking out my channel. Thanks for watching, have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Peace.